Let's wait for the stream preview. Yep, it works. Great. I did not update the title. Oh no. We're the Endgame now. Great. So today will be a rather boring episode, I think. Last time I have been named Hortator of all 3 great houses, and before that Nevarin, so I should be off defeating Dag of Ur. But first I want to talk with Vivec, and not just to get the Gauntlet Raveguard, but in general to nerd a little bit about lore. Okay, first of all, inventory management. I think my inventory is in a terrible state right now. Yep, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember which fist, like, is Raveguard on the right hand or the left hand? I think right. So I will be losing 20 points of strength. That's bad. And you don't have any gold, even better. Okay, I'll probably start with selling some alchemy ingredients. I wonder what kinds of potions I would need to fight Dag of Ur. If I could get Chameleon, that would be great. Restore some of the more important attributes would be great. Let's see what we have here. Restore. God damn it. Restore health, I do have. Restore fatigue, I do have. Let's think about Chameleon before. Burden, no. Yeah, single Chameleon potion. Better than nothing. Blind burden. Feather might be useful if he starts doing some weird stuff. And some more feather. Oh, God damn it. Why do I keep exiting the menu? Sanctuary won't be useful, I don't think. Spell absorption would be great, but it will be rather weak effect, I presume. How much spell absorption can you give me? It's this one. 20 points for a minute. It's not terrible. Okay. So I could do a few more of these. Restore strength will be of utmost importance. Fortify agility. Draining health. Seriously. Every fortify agility has also drain health. Great. I mean, okay, how bad will this be? Ah, 1.4. Yeah. Acceptable. More than acceptable. Fortify strength. Cure paralysis. What else could I possibly want? I'll do some restore health. Screw it. It's never too much of that. Okay.
The finest potions and elixirs in town are right here.
Yeah. I need to sell that ebony, it's too heavy. I'm sure I have other heavy things here. I have some raw stuff. Raw sulfur. I could just sell her things in general. Like cheaper stuff. Why do I hold bread? I don't know. Why do I hold dough? I don't know. I do have Quamex, I don't know. Oh my god. Okay, that's good enough. Yeah, do you want something more? Some diamonds. Maybe not that many diamonds. Maybe like half of that. Okay, weight situation is automatically better. Give me a second. GPU needs some help, and I shall provide it now.
Warmly greeted, friend. Welcome.
I don't know. Do you want some diamonds, Ajira? Sure you do. I think I wanted to skip some time.
Friend, welcome.
Or skip some more time just to be sure. On to Mornhold. Keep trading.
All hail under the Drake, citizen.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yes, stranger?
What can I sell you?
A hard judge, but fair.
Better 300 points. Pretty good. For 15 minutes. Okay, okay. I don't need that. I should go to Balmora to sell these bad boys. To Caldera. But do I have to? No, they're light. Do you want some Dag of Brandies? I don't remember how much I will need for a quest. Fortify willpower now. Okay, that's quite enough for you. No! Great, I have to do it all over again. This is what greed does to you. I have like all Cerdiric brandies. Although I'd love to... Fire resist might be useful, fortify strength might be useful. I have my own restore health, restore magicka. I don't know, might be useful. So personality, no. Restore speed might be useful. Spell absorption might be useful. Feather. No, that for no. Keep this. Fortify strength. Cure paralysis. I have my own. Fortify willpower. No. Restore health. No. Restore magica, whatever. Reflect is weak, but might be useful. Restore fatigue. Restore health. Restore health. Spell absorption. Spell absorption. Standard restore health, nah. Telvani backmax, nah. Vintage brandy, nah. Water breathing, nah. Okay, do you want some diamonds? Pleasure doing business. Do I need to repair my things? Kind of. Do I have any books to sell?
Whatever you want. Within reason.
Silence. Progress of Truth I might need. I have no idea what that is. Nemon's Memory Stone. The hell? Brown Book. Okay, 36 lessons I might want. 736 would be thematic, Sermon 12 for shits and giggles, but otherwise no. Okay. I could use Sermon 15. Where can I find Sermon 15 now? Oh, I need it for the next stream anyway.
You have a question.
Okay, any... Okay. I don't have any gold, don't you? Yeah.
Best quality.
Shit. Cloth here. Do you want some 6th house amulets or whatever? Do I have 6th house amulets to sell? The hell? Oh shit. Okay. I should level up while having everything maxed out. Ah, sure, buddy. Yeah, I think my weight situation is under control, roughly. Yeah, whatever. There's one more thing that I could do, actually.
Keep fighting in the arena long enough.
What do you want?
Face as pretty as mine.
That was finishing the arena questline.
Greetings. I am at your service.
So right now
Don't let me down.
I am a fugitive that.
Here to fight for the glory of the Tribune. Rest.
Okay. I am fugitive that should be running away from temple authorities, and instead I'm fighting to be a champion of the Vivec arena. Makes perfect sense to me.
Your suffering will be great.
Okay. GPU is still suffering. Altmer glass. Oh, cute. But I don't really need loot anymore.
Good job, Outlander.
Why is GPU still suffering? Give me a second. Okay, I really have no idea what's going on with my GPU. Task manager says that it's hot as hell, but I did not switch new OBS. Yeah, task manager says it's hot, but on touch it's not hot. So I have no idea what's going on. Maybe I really have to clean it up finally. Okay, whatever, let's hope for the best.
What now? Back for more guts and glory?
Well done! If you want to enter pit again, know where to find me, sure. One more thing. Okay.
You ready?
House Indoril, here to fight for the glory.
Another glass asshole.
Crazy. Talking to myself like this.
Raise your voices.
Yeah, I'm talking to a Twitch public. Damn it. To one viewer that I have.
To intimidate me?
That is not me opening my stream manager.
A pragmatic Lalu fighter. They duel till one remains. Let the duel begin!
Yup.
Okay, die quickly because my GPU is overheating. Please. Okay, thank you.
It was a slaughter. We have a winner.
Was it because of this asshole? I don't know.
My money was always on you.
Yeah, thanks.
Keep fighting in the arena long enough, and you'll...
Oh, you finally made it! You've killed Vivec knows how many fighters you've survived this long, and now you've made it to the top. Almost the top, that is. Sondras is waiting for you in the pit. Other than you, he's the toughest CV Avenger I've seen. The crowd can't wait to see this fight, so tell me, are you ready to become the champion? I'm ready to become the champion. Music to my ears, get into that pit, give the crowd a show, and if you walk out alive, you'll be a legend in this city. A rich legend, I might add. Now go.
Go on about
Hello,
your business.
have you been looking for me? He.
Give him.
House Indoril, here to fight for the glory of the tribunal special.
Trying to intimidate me? Just makes you look weak.
Weird helmet.
One can emerge victorious. Only one can be named chosen champion of the tribunal. Combat begin.
Son of a script!
And bye-bye. Yeah, I'd love to take your loot, but it's kind of bad. Oh, fortify speechcraft. It would be better than what I do have, right? Slightly better. Okay, I can take that. Do I need speechcraft? No.
Give the next guy.
They crown me the champion or whatever.
Our champion. You ready to give him another show?
By Alma Alexia, by Sotasil, by Vivec, you're the grand champion. Har har har. I knew you could do it. Here's your winnings. You've earned it. Just because you're the champion of the tribunal, that doesn't mean you get to rest. There's always fresh blood to spill, always new pit dogs trying to rise up the ranks. If you ever want back into the pit, you know where to find me. Great, nothing interesting happened. Like, reputation did not go through the roof. Oh no! Not the adoring fan.
Welcome, citizen. How may I be of assistance?
This is the sacred city of Vivec. Count your blessings. Can I help you find someone in particular? Don't tell me he will... No, he just... I would expect he would have some special dialogue. But he doesn't, oh well.
Stay out of there. There's a
Okay. On to the main quest. Oh my god, the FPS. Oh my god. This is horrible. I'm going in the wrong direction. That makes it even worse. Thankfully, I don't have to spend a lot of time outdoors today. Oh. Okay, so I think I need to talk to this lady.
What do you want of me, Outlander?
I think. Quickly, did you want to meet the Archcanon? The Archcanon is in his private quarters. He very much wishes to speak with you, but I am to warn you, avoid confrontations with the Ordinators at all costs. The Archcanon has spoken with the Hyphen Ordinators, but if you are a wanted criminal, they may try to arrest you. If the blood of faithful servants of the temple is spilled, it will make our reconciliation all that much more difficult. There's a private back entrance to Sarionis' private quarters. Perhaps you might also sneak past the Ordinators by stealth or magic. Sure, or I can just do this. We know your plan, Outlander. We know you plan to meet with the Archcanon in his private quarters, Outlander. We'll be watching you carefully. Do not break the law, or we will take swift action. Now, which one of you is Archcanon? Are you Archcanon? We're here to discuss the Temple's doctrine on the Nerevarine, Eric Brooks. The Temple must protect the people from false doctrines, and your association with Imperial Intelligence makes your motivations and integrity suspect. But you have been chosen Hortator and Nerevarine by the Dunmer people, and we have reached a crisis with Dag of War. We can no longer defend the people against the awakened Sixth House. You and your prophecies may represent our last hope. Our situation is desperate, but I would rather have you hear the details of our situation, the circumstances leading up to that situation, from Lord Vivec himself. He has asked to see you. Would you agree to a private meeting with him and hear in person what he has to say? I will meet with Vivec, sure. Good. Here are 2 keys, one to the private back entrance to my quarters, the other to a locked entrance to Lord Vivec's palace. I regret that at present the Ordinators are not completely under my control, so for now, ask you to avoid confrontation with them. Lord Vivec is expecting you. His lordship is remarkably patient, but perhaps it would be better not to keep him waiting. Is that all? Yeah, that is all. Okay, so let's not wait. Let the Lord of the Middle Air wait, I guess, right?
Yes, Outlander, what may I do for you?
I am never too busy.
Point armatures. Secret Palace entrance key used. Sure. Now, there is one thing that I want to do.
Yes, Incarnate. I am Vivec, and I can answer all your questions.
Answer for your crimes, asshole.
Don't fight, God.
Yeah, you're a god. How can you kill a god? I know. I mean, spoilers, but I know.
Foolish.
Foolish mortal. Foolishly foolish mortal.
Foolish.
Yeah, just die or something.
Foolish.
And 3, 2, 1, 0, -1, and he's dead. He has incredible shield with this mod. God damn it, I want that shield. 50 points of spell absorption. But he needs to live. Sadly, he needs to live. Unique Dwemer artifact. He needs to live. In a different timeline, maybe. In a different timeline.
Yes, Incarnate. I am Vivec, and I can answer all your questions.
I expected you. We have business, you and I. When I was young like you, I was very impatient, so I will keep our business short. Then, later, there may be time for other things. First, I propose to remove my curse upon the Nerevarine and the persecution of the dissident priests, and proclaim to all Morrowind that Eric Brooks is the Incarnate and Nerevarine, the prophesied savior of Morrowind, and the last hope to withstand the menace of Dag of Ur and the Sixth House. These things I will do, whether you wish or not. Next, I propose to surrender to you the power and responsibility of defending Dag of Ur. You may choose to refuse, I will not compel you. You will receive the power as a gift, in the form of an artifact called Raveguard. You may accept the gift, then do with it as you will. You will receive the responsibility as an oath. You may give your oath, then keep it or break it as you like. First, will you accept Raveguard as a gift? Yeah, sure. Good, sensible of you. And now, will you give your oath before all gods and men, before all spirits visible and invisible, before my honor and your honor, to dedicate yourself and Raveguard to the defeat and destruction of Dag of Ur and the preservation of Morrowind and its people? I do solemnly swear. Sure. Now, not very sensible, but very good. I was hoping for someone who would have no hesitations about making such an oath. You will now have a brief, momentary sensation of time passing. Don't be alarmed. You are being taken out of time in order to avoid the unpleasant experience of learning how to use Raveguard. It will be over before... There is a brief sensation of motion in total darkness, floating but without a sense of weight or direction. You know it. Now, I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. We have time for questions if you like, or you may leave, as you wish. But I think there are at least two things you ought to know before you leave. How to use Raveguard and how to defeat Dag of Ur. Okay, before that... Okay, so Raveguard is here. Yeah, shield 10 points is so-so. Reflect 20 points is pretty damn good. Resists. Blight is useless, but shock, fire, frost, magic, and poison is useful. But yeah, reflect 20 points. Wouldn't have it any other way. So, Raveguard. Armor rating 202. My previous one was 228. So, in terms of armor rating, it's actually worse. But armor rating is just a number, so it doesn't matter. Okay, business. Actually, I believe we finished our business. I will notify the temple that you are our champion. There shall be no more persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. Now you are my guest, I am your host, and we have time for explanations, or counsel, or questions, or bitter recriminations, if you like. Or you may leave if you wish, as you wish. But I think before you leave, you should hear how to defeat Dagofur, and how you must use the artifact Raveguard. Okay, defeat Dagofur. To defeat Dagofur, go to Red Mountain to recover the artifact Hammer Sunder from Gate Citadel Veminal. Then recover the artifact Blade Keening from Gate Citadel Odrosal. Then proceed with Raveguard, Sunder, and Keening to the Citadel of Dagofur. Within the Citadel, find the Heart of Lorkhan. Use the 3 artifacts to sever Dagofur's connection to the heart, and he will be destroyed, and the Blight ended on Morrowind. Exciting. To destroy Dagofur, you must sever his connection with the Heart of Lorkhan. To do this, strike the heart with the artifact Hammer Sunder once, then strike the heart more than once with the artifact Blade Keening. You must wear Raveguard because you cannot handle either Sunder or Keening unless you are wearing Raveguard or you're playing Skyrim. That is the short, simple explanation. Here is the long, detailed explanation written down for your convenience. Read it, study it, commit it to memory. Anything more? No. Bitter recriminations. You want to chide me. Why did I murder Nerevar? Why did I break my oath to Azura not to use Kagronak's tools? Why did I cause others to suffer? Yeah, why did you murder me, asshole? We did not murder Nerevar. The legend that we murdered Nerevar comes from a story told by a shield companion of Nerevar, Alandrosul, who lived among the Ashlanders. The Ashlanders have retained Alandrosul's account as part of their oral histories. The account is persuasive in some details, implausible in others, and in any case false. I have 2 accounts of Nerevar's death here in my library. Read them and judge for yourself. It's funny how Tammy Rebuild added the foul murder questline that, from what I understand, pretty much confirms that, yeah, they did murder Nerevar. But, oh well. Break my oath to Azura. Along with Lord Nerevar, and at his insistence, Almalexia, Sotasir, and I swore before our god of oaths at the time, the Daedra Lord Azura, never to employ the tools of Kagronak for any purpose. We broke our oaths. We turned our backs on the old gods. I still see no compelling reason to worship any of the Hydra or Daedra. Yeah, but there are compelling reasons to worship you, asshole, right? But for the respect I hold for Nerevar and the respect I hold for myself, should never have betrayed my oath. Of all my life's actions, I most regret that failure. Why did I cause others to suffer? I respect that question and you for it. The most I can say is, I did the best I could, as I saw things. Can you, mortal, presume to judge the actions and motives of a god? But because I need you and you need me, I will make an accounting for my sins to you, but not now. Destroy Dagofur, and then we will discuss my sins. Then, perhaps, you will have earned the right to judge me. Yeah, so this is the kind of Dune God Emperor philosophy. Later, and by that I mean much, much later, my reign will be viewed as an act of the greatest love. 735, I believe. Yeah. He's actually right on that account. Right, being a god of a nation is a little bit like being a parent, and parent needs to allow his children to suffer in order for them to learn and outgrow their parents. Kind of sounds Nietzschean, Zarathustrian. Yeah, that's the philosophy here, and I kind of agree. Okay, council. You need to know, where is Dagofur? What are Dagofur's plans? Who are the Dagofur servants? Who is Dagofur? What are Dagofur's powers? What is known about Dagofur's defenses? How can I prepare for battle against Dagofur? Who can help? Okay, one after the other. Dagofur is the former Lord High Counselor of House Dagoth. He was a Lord Nervar's generation older than we, and a mighty sorcerer and enchanted in life. In his sustained shadow in immortality, he appears to be a highly intelligent, severely deluded, immortal monster with unparalleled supernatural abilities. He appears by turns lucid and deranged, compassionate and bestial, profoundly wise and profoundly disordered. In short, he's a mad god. He is worse than that. And you know it. Vivec. Dagofur's defenses. Confer with the Ordinators and Point Armagers garrisoning Ghostgate for the latest information about the defenses of the citadels of Dagofur and his heart-white kin. Sure. I mean, I will have to go to Ghostgate anyway to meet with Wolfie. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you will know. Dagofur's plans. We know nothing for sure, but we have learned much from interrogating Sixth House cultists and victims of dream compulsions, and from our study of Dagofur's actions. The Temple Scholars and Inquisitors have prepared a document, Dagofur's plans, that summarizes what we know or suspect. Take this copy. It's also available in my library. Dagofur's plans, sure. Dagofur's powers. He's able to send his mind into the dreams of susceptible victims across vast distances. The victims are either swayed by his compulsions or driven mad. He also seems nearly invulnerable to physical and magical harm. His flesh, and flesh of his followers, evolves towards a mutable magical form. Dagofur and the highest ranks can control the distorted manifestations of their flesh. Lower ranks lose control of their bodies, become mindless corpulous monsters. Dagofur's servants. Chief among his servants are his 7 brothers, the Ash Vampires, powerful heart-whites and cunning sorcerers of old. These creatures appear to die, but always are revived at the heart. Somehow Dagofur has conferred some portion of his immortality upon them, or perhaps they sustain themselves through more conventional sorcery. Explanations. You want to know, why did they wage war on the Nerevarine? Why did they try to suppress the Apocrypha? Why did they persecute the dissident priests? Why is Dagofur winning the war? Why does the tribunal fight Dagofur? What are Raveguard's powers? Okay, War of the Nerevarine, sure. Why did I try to kill you? Because you threatened the faith of my followers, and I need their faith to hold back the darkness. Oh, how selfless of you, truly. And I thought you were my enemy, a pawn of the subtle Daedra Lord Azura, or a pawn of Emperor Uriel Septim, a simple fraud, perhaps a hero, but not much of one in my faithful... but not much of one if my faithful could destroy you. Now circumstances are altered. I need you, and you need me. How opportunities. Suppress the Apocrypha. Why did I suppress the Apocrypha? Because it was such an unfortunate mixture of truth, falsehood, and speculation. They couldn't afford to manage the confused reaction of our faithful. Yeah, so just call it fake news and yeah, sure. Any doubt whatsoever weakened their faith, and we need their faith to give us the power to maintain the ghost fence. In retrospect, perhaps we lost the faith of those we most needed while preserving the faith of the meek and indifferent. Perhaps a mistake was made. Who can say? Well, you can say, you're a god. Vivec. Suppression and persecution of this dissent is just one of the standard tools of statecraft. That sounds like... Who would write this? Machiavelli? Makes sense though. I believe we erred in trusting the judgment of Beryl Sala. He and his ordinators served violently in the war against Dagofur. He mistook his misplaced zeal for energy and dedication. Mistakes were made, but no more. There shall be no persecution of the dissident priests, and I hope both sides shall swiftly be reconciled. Prepare for battle. Prepare for war! Beyond the ghost fence there are no safe places, no allies. Stockpile resources, plan for retreat and replenishment, quest for artifacts of power. Yeah, I'm already geared up, thank you. Who can help? Ordinators and buoyant armigers stationed at Ghost Gate have the most practical knowledge of the nightmare world inside the ghost fence. Seek them in my name and for counsel and aid. Raveguard's powers. Raveguard's primary function is to protect the wearer from the fatal energies of the artifact Sunder and Keening. It also has minor protective enchantments against physical and magical damage that you might find useful. Where is Dagofur? Dagofur has never ventured out of the Heart Chamber, the place under Red Mountain where the heart of Lorcan lies. It is there or nearby that he is constructing a new god, Akula Khan, also known as Second Numidium. Okay, you won't tell me anything about Numidium? How you give it up to Talos as a Trojan's horse? Okay, fair enough. Tribunal fight Dagofur. In the past, the Tribunal made seasonal campaigns to Red Mountain. We slew Dagofur and his kin, though the heart always revived them in time. Later, when we realized we couldn't destroy them, we created the Ghost Fence to contain the threat. These solutions were effective until Dagofur ambushed us and captured Sunder and Keening. Since that time, our fortunes have waned as his increased. Dagofur winning. Dagofur is winning because he is close to the source of power, Lorcan's heart, and because he retains the passion of madness, while we have settled into the lonely and unrewarding posture of dogged dutifulness and perseverance. And finally, perhaps because he is stronger and smarter than we are, and his followers are more fervent and fanatical, I believe we were careless and compliant and outwitted. And in the matter of denying the Nerevarine, we were foolish. My library, whatever. Shadow of Ur. Oh my god, the stupid extended cut content. I know of her, she's a thief. You fought her here. Do you not remember? Perhaps it was merely an illusion, or a dream, or perhaps it is a sign of things to come, I'm unsure. Yeah, goddamn time travel in Morrowind. Can't wait for that. In my library, I have made available 2 conflicting sources of the events of Red Mountain, my own true account and another false account common among the Ashlanders preserved in the Apocrypha. I don't care whether you believe my account or not. I leave it up to you to judge which is true. Questions? You are curious. What really happened at Red Mountain? What really happened to the Dwemer? What was the Dwemer's sin? What is it like to be a god? Do I remember being mortal? Do I feel about the people of Morrowind? Yeah, Red Mountain I already talked about. Dwemer's sin. The sin of the Dwemer was the creation of a new god from the substance of a dead god, Lorcan. That is also the sin for which we would destroy Dagofur. I hesitate to call it sin, more properly call it destructive evil. The sin of the tribunal, however, is the breaking of an oath to Azura to forbear any tapping. What? To forbear any tapping the heart with. Oh, whatever. Forbear any tapping. Forbear from tapping the heart with Kegrunak tools, and in the folly of seeking to become gods. Breaking the oath was evil, becoming gods was folly. If we sinned, we have paid the price. Not yet, you still live. People of Morrowind. I love the people of Morrowind. Yeah, by your definition of love, asshole. I became a god to make their lives more comfortable and secure. I am most close to my faithful followers. I am literally in their hearts and minds. I feel the most sympathy with House Redoran. They are Dunmer driven by creeds and deeds like I am. House Indoril is closer to the compassion and sympathy of Almalexia. A comfortable and secure serenity. House Telvanni matches the disposition of my brothers Dasil. Iconoclastic, profane, and conventional. House Hlaluch represents the future of the Dunmer, integrated into the sophisticated mainstream with the traditionless, raceless, godless culture of the Empire. House Dress represents the past of the pre-tribunal Great House culture, a persistent tradition of Daedrant ancestor-worshipping civilized Dunmer clans. And I even love the Ashlanders for their preservation of the most ancient barbarian tribal traditions of the Dunmer who first settled Morrowind. There's so much love in you. Wow. Do you remember being mortal? I remember. I do not feel it. I can, if I choose, remember the feeling, but I do not choose. It is very, very sad being mortal. There's happiness, yes, but mostly sadness. And I have said, count only the happy hours. But mortals, they are all... For mortals, they are all too few. But for gods, for me, there's no more feeling, only knowing. Not quite no more feeling. I still want to win. I want to defeat Dagofur. Oh, I know, I understand that reference. Oh my god, okay. Not quite no more feeling. I still want to win. I want to defeat the Tag of Ur. Perhaps I have lost the feeling for the people, for their suffering. I don't want that feeling. It is no use to me. That is no more what matters to me. I only want not to lose. To lose would be very, very bitter. Yeah, so this is the new medium line from Coda. Not new medium. It was what was the name of the main character of Coda? I don't remember. Yeah, we just wanted to win. Yeah. The Dwemer. I have no idea what happened to the Dwemer. I have no sense of them in the timeless divine world outside of mortal time. And in fact, if I did believe they existed, I would be in no hurry to make contact with them. They may, with some justice, hold the Dunmer people responsible for their fate. My intuition is that they are gone forever, and that is perfectly fine with me. Okay. It is like being a juggler. Things are always moving, and you learn to know where they are without even thinking about it. Only there are many, many things moving, and sometimes, like any juggler, you drop something. I'm afraid it has become a lot more... I'm afraid it has become a lot more a matter of dropping things lately. There's too much to do and not enough time, and I'm losing my touch. Perhaps I'm growing old. This is a bit like being at once awake and asleep. Awake, I am here with you, thinking and talking. Asleep, I am very, very busy. Perhaps for other gods, the completely immortal ones, it is only like being asleep. Out of time, me exists at once inside of time and outside of it. It's nice never being dead too. When I die in the world of time, then I'm completely asleep. I am very much aware that all I have to do is choose to wake. And I'm alive again. Many times I've very deliberately tried to wait patiently a very, very long time before choosing to wake up. No matter how long it feels like I wait, it always appears when I wake up that no time has passed at all. That is the God place. The place out of time, where everything is always happening all at once. Okay. Cool dialogue. What do you have here? This is your library. Great. Dissipations. Nothing interesting. Beating the Daedra Heart. Pretty metal. Ancestor. Whatever. Let's go through the notes. Plan to defeat Daggerford, the Battle of Red Mountain. Daggerford's plans never at Red Mountain. Okay, let's start with Daggerford. For the past 20 years, the Tribunal have tried unsuccessfully to execute this plan. However, we failed because we were required to stage an assault and simultaneously maintain the Ghost Fence to prevent the threatened large-scale breakout of Daggerford's blighted hosts. With the Nerevarine leading the assault and the Tribunal free to devote their full energies to maintaining the Ghost Fence, this plan has a greater chance of success. Unfortunately, however, the loss of the artifacts Sunder and Keening and the recent increase in Daggerford's strength poses new problems for the execution of the plan. Therefore, our proposed plan has the following 5 phases. 1. A series of aggressive raids to scout inside the Ghost Fence. 2. A series of aggressive raids to neutralize Daggerford's Ash Vampire kin and recover artifacts from bodies of his kin. 3. Assault Gate Citadel Venimal to neutralize Dagoth Vemin and recover the artifact Hammer Sunder. 4. An assault of Gate Citadel Odrosal to neutralize Dag of Odros and recover the artifact blade Kinning. 5. An assault of Citadel Dagoth with the artifacts Raveguard, Sunder and Kinning to sever Dag of Ur's connection to the Heart of Lorkhan and thus to destroy Dag of Ur. Phase 1 inside the Ghost Fence. The Tribunal, Ordinators and Buoyant Armigers are familiar with the terrain and will provide maps and current intelligence reports. The region inside the Ghost Fence is dangerous. The Nerevarine will need to be familiar with its particular challenges. After measuring skills and resources against Dag of Ur's defenses, the Nerevarine will know better how to pace a campaign, alternating raids with improving skills, getting better equipment, and stockpiling resources. Phase 2 raids upon Ash Vampire citadels. Dag of Ur's kin have become markedly more powerful in recent decades, after remaining stable for thousands of years. If they can be individually isolated and destroyed, they will not be able to support Dag of Ur in later stages of war. It may also be that the dramatic increase in their power comes from items enchanted by Dag of Ur. Salvage of such items might contribute to our resources. Essential to recover the artifact's Hammer Sunder for Phase 5. The Ash Vampire Dag of Vemin has possession of Sunder, and probably seeks to discover the secrets of its enchantments. He may also have access to notebooks and journals of Kagrenak that have survived in the Dwemer workshops of Veminal. Assault on Gate Citadel Odrosal. Essential to recover the artifact blade Kinning for Phase 5. The Ash Vampire Dag of Odros has possession of Kinning and probably seeks to discover blah blah blah. Blah blah blah, okay. Assault on Citadel Dagoth. All the previous stages are preparations for this stage. Recent expeditions show that Citadel Dagoth has undergone extensive expansion. The location will need to be explored carefully. The known route to the Heart Chamber will be well defended. Alternative routes may exist. No, they don't. Dag of Ur will have anticipated our plan to destroy him by attacking the Heart, and he will almost certainly personally oppose the approach to the Heart Chamber. Together, the Tribunal could not defeat him, and he has grown stronger since then. Admittedly, the Tribunal had the distraction of maintaining the Ghost Fence simultaneously with fighting Dag of Ur, but even so, the challenge seems daunting. The adoption of this phased campaign seems to offer the best chances for success. In retrospect, the Tribunal's decision to directly assault Citadel Dagoth rather than proceed step by step through lesser objectives must be seen to have been a serious error. The Tribunal did not feel it had the option of a slow-paced and deliberate campaign, given that they had many other competing priorities, not the least of which was the maintenance of Ghost Fence and the outer defenses surrounding Red Mountain. The Nerevarine, on the other hand, should be best served by a careful step-by-step advance, with the additional advantage of building confidence along the way, while successes would undermine Dag of Ur's own assurance in his defenses. Employing Kagrenak's tools against Dag of Ur. The source of Dag of Ur's supernatural power is the Heart of Lorkhan. The Heart is also source of Tribunal's divine powers. During mythic times, the gods took and hid Lorkhan's heart beneath Red Mountain as a punishment for creating the mortal plane. The Dwemer discovered their heart while building underground colonies. High Craft Lord Kagrenak created enchanted tools intended to tap the power of the heart. The war of the First Council was fought to prevent this sacrilege. Kagrenak's use of the tools and the disappearance of the Dwemer race marked the end of the war. Kagrenak's tools were recovered by Lord Nerevar and Dagofur. Dagofur was left to guard the tools while Nerevar came to consult with us, his advisors. In Nerevar's absence, Dagofur experimented with the tools upon the heart and was corrupted. We returned to discover a deranged Dagofur who refused to turn over the tools. When he attacked us, we drove him away. Where was Nerevar during all of this? Like, in Nerevar's absence, like, sus, I call it sus. We left Red Mountain with the tools, and subsequently s02e06 discovered their secrets. Collectively, we used the tools to establish a connection with the heart, enabling ourselves to transform our mortal natures. Thus we became the Tribunal. Dagofur had survived our attacks, and without the tools, in a manner not well understood, Dagofur also managed to establish a connection with the heart to transform himself into an immortal being. Our plan to destroy Dagofur also runs the risk of destroying the Tribunal. Opportunity rather. The plan is to permanently disrupt Kagrenak's enchantments upon the heart, severing connections with Dagofur and ourselves, and rendering us once again mortal. A mortal Dagofur may then be destroyed by mundane means. The loss of godhood and the possible death of the Tribunal judged a necessary risk and sacrifice. The normal procedure for establishing connection with the heart is a 3-step process. The wearer of Raveguard... cheap view screw. The wearer of Raveguard strikes the heart with the hammer Sunder, causing the heart to produce a pure tone. Then the wearer of the Raveguard strikes the heart with the blade Keening, shattering the pure tone into a prism of tone shades. These tone shades are then imprinted upon the substance of the wearer of Raveguard, giving him an immortal and divine nature. The Nerevarine will not be taught the secret rituals required to perform the third step. I wonder why. Instead, the Nerevarine will strike the heart with Keening for a second time, causing its tones to diverge into unstable patterns of interference. Further repeated strikes with Keening will further disrupt the tones, with the ultimate result of shattering and dispelling Kagrenak's original enchantments, binding the heart, thereby severing the heart's links with Dagofur, and with any surviving Herbrites and with the Tribunal. Destroying Kagrenak's enchantments on the heart will also stop the corrupt effusion of the heart's divine power and end the blight on Morrowind. The Nerevarine may be tempted to steal the power of the heart. Dagofur and s02e06 alone know this secret. Dagofur, in extremity, proposed to teach the Nerevarine to use Kagrenak's tools to become a god. We doubt that the Nerevarine is full enough to trust Dagofur and are content to take that risk. Sadly, game won't even allow you to try, but oh well. Be warned! The Nerevarine cannot safely equip either Keening or Sunder unless wearing Raveguard. The Nerevarine will be injured every moment while holding either of these artifacts unless protected by Raveguard. Persistence will be rewarded with death. If Nerevarine can equip an item while not wearing Raveguard and receive no injury, the item is counterfeit. Which is a reference to foreskinning that is not in the game but is in the game files. But how would you test this without save scamming unless you're expected to save scam in order to do kind of fourth wall. One last note. Dag of Ur must not get hold of Raveguard. The Nerevarine must prepare and use a recall or intervention or an CV intervention with any risk of death or capture. But no recall or intervention can work in this place. Don't you know it? Dag of Ur will not expect you to destroy Kegronak's enchantments on the heart. He does not know it is possible. He would not do it himself, and he knows we have never tried it. He will not believe anyone would want to sacrifice the promise of such power. Further advancement in House Dagoth, as in all great houses, is by challenge and confrontation within the hierarchy. The Nerevarines and challenges and defeats of Ash Vampires and battles with the Sixth House will be viewed in that light. Dag of Ur and his kin may assume the Nerevarines' ambition is to control the heart. Given that assumption, it is only reasonable that the Nerevarine would try to defeat each of Dag of Ur's subordinates in turn, working up to Dag of Ur. If the Nerevarine can defeat Dag of Ur and control the heart, so much the better. But logically, the Nerevarine would wish to rise as high in the hierarchy as possible before cutting a deal with the head of the house. Dag of Ur should try to recruit the Nerevarine into House Dagoth. It may be possible to pretend to join him, then betray him. However, any attempt to deceive him will be very risky. House Dagoth has a tradition of subterfuge and treachery, and because he is a deceiver, he will expect deception. Yeah, it takes one to know one, asshole. It takes one to know one. Closing remarks. We place no compulsion upon the Nerevarine to adhere to the plans described here. We believe that they offer the best chance of destroying Dag of Ur. But we have also chosen to place our trust in the Nerevarines' judgment and skill. Frankly, we see no alternative. If there are no doubts or questions, speak with Vivec. He has agreed to serve the Nerevarines' guide and counselor for this campaign. That's better. It may be that if the Nerevarine succeeds, the tribunal will not survive. Such sentiments as might have been expressed to the tribunal should, in that case, be addressed to the land, the people of Morrowind. May the happy convergence of fortune and prayer meet in your destiny. On behalf of Lady Almalexia and Lord Sotasil, Vivec.
It is lonely to be alone.
Sure, whatever, buddy. Dag of Ur's plans. Okay. Give me a second. Dagofor's plans. The following documents were prepared by temple scholars and agents of the Inquisition for Lord Vivec. From interrogation of captured sleepers and other Sixth House cultists, from study of manuscripts written by cultists and victims of dream-induced mania, from interviews with Lord Vivec concerning historical campaigns against Red Mountain, and from broad conjectures and inferences made upon these materials. This is our best estimate of Dagofor's motivations and objectives in this most recent phase of his war against Morrowind. Basic objectives. 1. Primo. Established a theocracy in Morrowind based on the worship of the newborn god Akula Khan, second Numidium, to be created by Dagofor from the heart of Lord Khan and a body constructed according to the principles and rituals pioneered by the Dwemer Kegrenak. Establish the ancient heirs of House Dagov as the god priests of Akula Khan, the sixth house of Dagofor, as the dominant political power in Morrowind. Through charismatic conversion, unite the Dunmer under the guidance of Dagofor to battle against the foreign animals who hold Morrowind in subjection. Note, Dagofor has apparently adopted the views and motivations of the Dwemer High Craft Lord Kagrenak. In effect, he recapitulates the ancient blasphemous folly of the Dwemer. Yeah, the foreign animals who hold Morrowind in subjection. Why subjection, not subjugation, but whatever. Second, Primo. Expose the false worship of the tribunal and destroy the ecclesiastical authority and political power of the temple. How much the dissident priests or the cult of the Nerevarine may be controlled or influenced by Sixth House in this regard is open to speculation. Yeah, it's inversely proportional to your paranoia. Third, Primo. Extirpate all remaining individuals of inferior and mongrel races from Morrowind. Hashtag Dagofor did nothing wrong, right? Fourth, Primo. Drive the Empire from Morrowind. Fifth, Primo. Recover ancient territories stolen by Skyrim and Argonia. Sixth, Primo. Extend the worship of Akula Khan to all nations of Tamriel through subversion and conquest. Okay. Plans to establish and expand the Sixth House. Phase 1. Secure Red Mountain against the Tribunal intruders. Deny Tribunal access to the heart, weakening the temple while securing Red Mountain for the creation of Akula Khan. Keep the construction of Second Numidium a secret. So that phase is already in. Phase 2. Create passive servants in ever-widening circles around Red Mountain. By broadcasting compulsions crouched in dream imagery to susceptible subjects in their sleep. Established a major operational base at Kogorun for further operations in the Ash Wastes. Established smaller bases near small port villages and lower-class waterfront districts in Vivec. Infiltrate and subvert smuggling syndicates. Recruit willing followers from disaffected populations, including the underworld, the poor, and rabid anti-imperial activists. So this is already done as well. Kamonatong working and smugglers working for the Sixth House. Everything makes sense. Phase 3. Expand from smaller bases to other towns and villages, and recruit and indoctrinate subjects made susceptible by dream settings. Occupy abandoned towers and ruins, and train corrupted cultists as raiders and irregular troops. Identify, discredit and decimate possible sources of political resistance. Yeah, so arguably, it's also in the works, right? Phase 4. Use assassination and terror to weaken, distract, and disrupt the legions and the imperial bureaucracy along with their Hlalus sympathizers. Goddamn Hlalus, am I right? Inspire popular uprisings of the native poor against the foreign rich and powerful. Summon sleepers and dreamers to Dag of War to work on Second New Medium. Was the tax revolt in Balmora investigated by the 6th House? That? Oh, I saw that book, damn it. Yeah, but that would make sense. Inferring Dag of War's perspectives. Dag of War thinks on a large time scale, for the most part in the outside of time scale of the divine consciousness. He thinks that only obstacles of mythic scale are worth consideration. He believes he is fated to rule Morrowind, to free Morrowind of the Empire, and to become the new heart-loving father of Morrowind. Given that perspective, the only opposing forces Dag of War worries about are the Tribunal, the Daedra, the Emperor, and the Incarnate. The Tribunal's loss of Thunder and Kinning, and with the diminishing resources of Vivec, Al-Malexi, and Sotasil, Dag of War believes he has permanently gained a decisive strategic advantage. On a mortal timescale, the battle may last centuries, but the outcome is not in doubt. Dakula Khan may be a device for dramatically reducing the timescale for a decisive victory. The myth of dynamic invincibility of the Emperor and the Empire has long been an unquantifiable and intimidating threat, but recent rumors of unrest in Cyrodiil, of the Emperor's failing health, and the unsettled question of the succession have diminished the scale of that threat. Nonetheless, the revelation that the Nerevarine is a pawn of Imperial intelligence, handpicked and sent to Morrowind by the Emperor himself, may cause Dag of War considerable anxiety. The Daedra represent no coherent obstacle to Dag of War. Nonetheless, their personal abilities and their influence upon their fanatic followers is considerable, their motives and actions obscure, and Dag of War remains concerned about them. The Incarnate represents Saint Nerevar, a mythic force that has previously defeated Dag of War, and Dag of War is obsessed with this threat. At the same time, Dag of War knew Nerevar personally, knew that he was a mortal man with faults and weaknesses. Dag of War may have some hope of seducing or negotiating with Nerevar's reincarnation. Further, when Nerevar and the Tribunal defeated Dag of War, they were strong and allied. Now the Nerevarine and the Tribunal are weak, opposed, and divided. Therefore, through the Nerevarine and the Tribunal, even though the Nerevarine and the Tribunal represent the most serious threat to Dag of War's plans, he still has good reason to believe that this time he will prevail. A recent timescale of Dag of War's activities. Much of the following timescale is based on inference from incomplete information. Before Second Era 882, Dag of War and his kin lie dreaming beneath the seals of Red Mountain. Second Era 882, Dag of War and his ash vampires awake refreshed and emerge from lower Red Mountain into the Heart Chamber. Dag of War ritually binds himself and his brethren as heart wraiths in a ritual of his own devising. First stages of construction of Second New Medium, conceived during the long sleep, are begun by Heartwives and Atronach constructs in a chamber near the heart of Lorkhan. Keeping the second medium project a secret from the tribunal is a high priority. The tribunal arrive at Red Mountain for their annual ritual bathing in the heart's power. Dag of War and Ash vampires ambush the tribunal. The tribunes are driven back and prevented from restoring themselves with Kagrenak's tools at the heart of Lorkhan. Second Era 882 to Third Era 417. Intermittent tribunal campaigns assault Red Mountain. The tribunal and supporting forces seek to force access to the Heart Chamber, but are repeatedly driven back. Dag of War recruits sleepers and dreamers through dream sending. Cultists are recruited through dream compulsion. Weaker cultists become corpse beasts. Stronger cultists advance through stages towards the power of the ascended sleepers. Third Era 400. Kogorn reoccupied by Dag of Utol and fortified as an advanced base for Sixth House operations. Blight storms more frequent and widespread. Soul sickness spreads in regions close to Red Mountain. Third Era 410. Sixth House bases founded near Gnarmog and in waterfront areas of Vivec. Sixth House operatives exploit smuggler operations and communications to spread their influence among victims unbalanced by Dag of War's dream sendings. Third Era 415. Small cells of Sixth House cultists in every town in Vardenfell. Larger Sixth House operations are concealed in remote dungeons, where creatures are bred and cultists are trained for the coming struggle. Third Era 417. Almalexian Sotasil lose the artifacts Sander and Kinning to Dag of Odros and Venom. Vivec rescues Almalexian Sotasil, but failing to recover Kinning and Sander, the tribunal retreat from Red Mountain in disorder. Surviving Bond armature companions know the tribunal was forced to retreat, but do not know how serious a reversal the tribunal has suffered. The three tribunes return to their respective capitals and continue to perform their ritual functions. The tribunes continue to grow weaker without access to the heart, and because the resources required to support the ghost fence. The inner circle of the temple priesthood has begun to suspect the tribunes have suffered seriously from wounds and demoralization in the wake of reverses at Red Mountain, but do not recognize the scale of the problem. Present day. Campaign of Sixth House assassinations of prominent Imperial citizens and Hlalu Imperial sympathizers. Sudden increase in number and seriousness of attacks by cultists and victims deranged by soul sickness. Noted with concern. Dag of War can apparently perceive and communicate directly through his cultists. Sleepers and dreamers are often reported speaking as though with Dag of War's voice and intention. 2. Little is known about the feature, scale, or stage of completion of Akulakan, second new medium. No one has gained entrance to the Heart Chamber since Second Era 282. In Third Era 417, Kinning and Sander were captured and may substantially aid in Akulakan's construction. Okay, first Minerva at Red Mountain. How long is it? Not that old. The following is the Apocrypha, the hidden writings of the Tribunal Temple. It is a scholarly retelling of a tradition transmitted through the Ashlanders concerning the battle at Red Mountain and subsequent events. Dashlanders associate this tale with the telling of Alandrasul, a shield companion of Nerevar who came to live among Dashlanders after the death of Nerevar and during the ascension of the Tribunal. There are many variant treatments of this story, but the primary elements are consistent throughout the tradition. The murder of Nerevar, the tragic fate of Dag of Ur, the profane source of Tribunal's divine power, are denied by temple doctrine as ignorant Ashlander superstition and not widely known among civilized Dunmer. Resdain, present-day Morrowind, was contested ground between two very different types of mer, the Chimer, who worshipped Daedra, and the Dwemer, who worshipped a profane and secret power. These two people warred with each other constantly until their lands were invaded by a young, vibrant, and violent alien culture. The Nords. Whoa. Goddamn Nords. Two heroes, one from the Chimer and one from the Dwemer, Indoril Nerevar and Dumag Dwarfork, made a peace between their people and together ousted the alien invaders. Then these two heroes worked long and hard to maintain that peace thereafter, though their counselors thought it could not last, or worse, that it shouldn't. Nerevar's queen and his generals, Almalexia, Sotasil, Vivec, told him to claim all Resdain for his own, but Nerevar would not listen, for he remembered his friendship with Dumag. There would be only peace. Until Dag of Ur arrived, House Dagoth had discovered the source of the profane and secret power of the Dwemer, the legendary Heart of Lorkhan, which Dumag's people had used to make themselves immortal and beyond the measure of the gods. In fact, one of their high priests, Kagrenak, was building a new god so that the Dwemer could reclaim Resdain for their own. The tribunal urged Nerevar never to make war on the Dwemers. Dwarves? Oh, sure. Nerevar was troubled. He went to Dumag, his friend of old, and asked if what Dag of Ur said was true. But Kagrenak and the high priests of the Dwemer had kept their new god secret from their king, and Dumag said the Dwemer were innocent of any wrongdoing. Nerevar... yeah, left hand does not know what right hand does, right? What is it called? Not shadow government. Deep state, yeah. Goddamn deep state doing whatever they want. Nerevar was troubled again and made pilgrimage to Halamayan, the sacred temple of Azura, who confirmed that all that Dag of Ur said was indeed true, that the new god of Dwemer should be destroyed. For the safety of not only Resdain but for the whole world. When Nerevar went back and told his tribunal that what the goddess had said, his queen and generals felt themselves proved aright and again counseled him to war. There were reasons that the Dwemer and Chimer had hated each other forever. Finally, Nerevar, angered that his friend Dumag would lie to him, went back to Vardenfell. This time the Chimer king was arrayed in arms and armor and had his hosts around him, and he spoke harshly to Dumag Dwarfork, king of Red Mountain. You must give up your worship of the Heart of Lorkhan, or I shall forget our friendship and the deeds that were accomplished in its name. And Dumag, who still knew nothing of Kagrenak's new god, but proud and protective as ever of his people, said, "We shall not relinquish that which was been our way for years beyond reckoning, just as the Chimer would not relinquish their ties to the lords and ladies of Oblivion. And to come at my door in this way, arrayed in arms and armor, and with your hosts around you, tell me you have already forgotten our friendship. Stand down, my sweet Nerevar. Oh, yeah. I sense romantic tension there. Stand down, my sweet Nerevar, or I swear by the 15 golden tones, I shall kill you and all your people. And so the Chimer and Dwemer went to war. The Dwemer were well defended by their fortress at Red Mountain, but the bravery and cleverness of Nerevar's queen and generals drew most of Dumac's armies out into the field and kept them there, so that Nerevar and Dag of Ur could make their way into the heart chamber by secret means. There, Nerevar met Dumac and the Dwarf King, and they both fell from grievous wounds. Dag of Ur slew Kagrenak and took the tools that Dwemer used to tap the power of the heart. He went to his dying lord Nerevar and asked him what to do with these tools. And Nerevar summoned Azura again, and he showed them how to use the tools to separate the power of the heart from the Dwemer people. And on that field, the tribunal and their armies watched as the Dwemer turned into dust all around them as their stolen immortality was taken away. Back in Red Mountain, Nerevar told Dag of Ur to protect the tools and the heart chamber until he returned. Dag of Ur said, "But shouldn't we destroy these tools at once, so that they might never be used for evil again?" But Nerevar was confused by his wounds and his sorrow, for he still loved Dumac and the Dwemer people, and so went to the fields outside Red Mountain to confer with his queen and his generals, who had foreseen that this war would come and whose counsel he would not ignore again. "I will ask the tribunal what we shall do with them, for they have had wisdom in the past that I had not. Stay here, loyal Dag of Ur, until I return." Then Nerevar told his queen and generals all that had transpired on the Red Mountain and how the Dwemer had used special tools to turn their people into immortals and of the wondrous power of the Heart of Lorkhan. The tribunal decided that the Chimer should learn how to use this power so that Nerevar might claim Resdain and the world for their people. Nerevar did not expect or want this, so he asked his queen and her generals to help him summon Azura yet again for her guidance. Poor Azura. But the tribunal had become as greedy as Kagrenak upon hearing of the power of the heart, and they coveted it. They made ritual to summon Azura as Nerevar wanted, but Almalexia used poisoned candles, and Sotasil used poisoned ropes, and Vivec used poisoned invocations. Nerevar was murdered. Then Azura came forth anyway and cursed the tribunal for their foul deeds. She told them that she would use her power over dusk and dawn to make sure Nerevar would come back and make things right again. But the tribunal laughed at her and said that soon they would be gods themselves, that the Chimer people would forget their old ways of worship. And Azura knew this would be true, that it would take a long time before her power might bring Nerevar back. "What you have done here today is foul beyond measure, and you will grow to regret it. For the lives of gods are not what mortals think, and matters that weigh only years to mortals weigh on gods forever. And so that they might know forever their wicked deeds, Azura changed the Chimer into Dunmer, and their skin turned ashen, and their eyes into fire. Let this mark remind you of your true selves, who, like ghouls, feed on the nobility, heroism, and trust of their king. This is part I don't really like. I mean, don't really like is a wrong word, but doesn't really make sense. It doesn't really make sense why Azura would be cursing Chimer. It more feels like Azura was scapegoated into it. I'm not sure if Azura anywhere... Does she confirm that she did it? I don't know. But it kind of does not make sense why Azura would do it. It makes more sense to me that it was some sort of side effect from use of Kagnak's tools. And then the tribunal went into Red Mountain and met with Dagofur. Dagofur saw what had been done, for his skin had changed as well, and he tried to avenge the death of Nerevar, but to no avail. He was driven off and fought dead. The tribunal found the tools and had been guarding, and through study of Kagnak's methods, turned themselves into gods. Thousands of years after their apotheosis, the tribunal are still the gods of Morrowind, and the old ways of worship are remembered only by a few. And the murder of Nerevar is known to fewer, but his queen and general still fear his return, and for the words of Azura linger long, and they see the mark of her curse on their people every day. Okay, so that's the last text. Kind of long. Okay, I'll brave through it. Yeah, whatever. The Battle of Red Mountain. The Rise and Fall of Tribunal. The following is a transcript of the words of Lord Vivec addressed to a dissident priest, Malur Omain, who confronted Vivec with the Ashlander tradition surrounding the Battle of Red Mountain, and with prophecies of the Nerevarine, and to unnamed magistrates of the Inquisition who joined Vivec in interrogating the dissident priest. Who can clearly recall the events of the distant past? A god might, I don't know. But you have asked me to tell you, in my own words, the events surrounding the Battle of Red Mountain, the birth of the Tribunal, and the prophecies of a Nerevar reborn. Here's what I can tell you. When the Chimer first abandoned the herds and tents of their nomadic ancestors and built the first great houses, we loved the Daedra and worshipped them as gods. But our brethren, the Dwemer, scorned the Daedra and mocked our foolish rituals, and preferred instead their gods of reason and logic. So the Chimer and Dwemer were always at bitter war, until the Nords came and invaded Rustain. Only then did the Chimer and Dwemer put away their strife and join together to cast out the invaders. Once the Nords were driven out, General Nerevar, the Chimer, and the General Dumac of the Dwemer, who had come to love and respect one another, resolved to make peace between their peoples. In that time, I was but a junior counselor to Nerevar, and Nerevar's queen Almalexia, and his other favorite counselor, Setasil, always doubted that such a peace might long survive. given the bitter disputes between Khmer and Dwemer. But by negotiation and compromise, Nerevar and Dumak somehow managed to preserve a fragile peace. Okay, so on that point, both accounts agree. Okay, that's good to know. But when Dagoth Ur, Lord of House Dagoth, and trusted as a friend by both Nerevar and the Dwemer, brought as proof that High Engineer Kagrenak of the Dwemer had discovered the heart of Lorkhan, that he had learned how to tap into its powers, and was building a new god, a mockery of Khmer faith and a fearsome weapon, we all urged Nerevar to make war on the dwarves and to destroy that threat to Khmer beliefs and security. Nerevar was troubled again. He went to Dumak and asked if what Dagoth Ur said was true. But Kagrenak took great offense and asked whom Nerevar thought he was, that he might presume to judge the affairs of the Dwemer. Okay, here Dumak is more confrontational from the get-go, less homoerotic energy here. Nerevar was further troubled and made pilgrimage to Holamayan, the sacred temple of Azura. The Azura confirmed that all that Dagoth Ur said was indeed true, that the creation of new god of the Dwemer should be prevented at all costs. When Nerevar came back and told us what the goddess had said, we felt our judgments confirmed and again counseled him to war, chiding Nerevar for his naive trust in friendship and reminding Nerevar of his duty to protect the faith and security of the Khmer against the impiety and dangerous ambitions of the Dwemer. Not to put too fine of a point on here, but power of the friendship beats everything, so I would not underestimate trust in friendship. Vivec. Joking. There is no power of friendship in Morrowind, as far as I know. This is not Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Has-Been Hotel. Then Nerevar went back to Vardenfell one last time, hoping that negotiations and compromise might once again preserve the peace. But this time, the friends Nerevar and Dumak quarreled bitterly, and as a result, the Khmer and Dwemer went to war. The Dwemer were well defended by their fortress at Red Mountain, but Nerevar's cunning drew most of Dumak's armies out into the field and pinned them there, while Nerevar, Dagoth Ur, and a small group of companions could make their way into the Heart Chamber by secret means. There, Nerevar, the Khmer king, met Dumak, the dwarf king, and they both collapsed from grievous wounds and draining magics. With Dumak fallen, and threatened by Dagoth Ur and others, Kagrenak turned his tools upon the heart, and Nerevar said he saw Kagrenak and his Dwemer companions at once disappear from the world. In that instant, Dwemer everywhere disappeared without a trace, but Kagrenak's tools remained and Dagoth Ur seized them and he carried them to Nerevar, saying that fool Kagrenak has destroyed his own people with these things. We shall destroy them right away, lest they fall into the wrong hands. Okay, so in this telling, Kagrenak uses Kagrenak's tools. In the other telling, it was what, like Dagoth Ur using instructions by Azura? If I remember correctly. But Nerevar, and I think we are pretty sure that it was Kagrenak who used the tools, that he doomed his people. There are other sources that confirm this, I think. But Nerevar was resolved to confer with his queen and his generals, who had foreseen that this war would come and whose counsel he would not ignore again. I will ask the tribunal what we shall do with them, for they have had wisdom in the past that I had not. Stay here, loyal Dagofur, until I return. So Nerevar told Dagofur to protect the tools and the heart chamber until he returned. Oh. Okay. I was checking, but both versions mention grievous wounds, so... Then Nerevar was carried to us, where we waited on the slopes of Red Mountain, and he told us all what had transpired under Red Mountain. What Nerevar had said was that the Dwemer had used special tools to turn their people into immortals, that the heart of Lorkhan held wondrous powers. Only later did we hear from others present that Dagofur had fought the Dwemer destroyed, not made immortal. And no one knows for sure what really happened there. After hearing Nerevar, we gave our counsel, as he requested, proposing we should preserve these tools in trust for the welfare of the Khmer people. And who knows, perhaps the Dwemer are not gone forever, but merely transported to some distant realm, from which they might someday return to threaten our security once again. Therefore we need to keep these tools, to study them and their principles, so that we may be safe in future generations. And though Nerevar voiced his grave misgivings, he was willing to be ruled by our council, under one condition, that we all together shall swear a solemn oath upon Azura that the tools would never be used in the profane manner that the Dwemer had intended. We all readily agreed and swore solemn oaths at Nerevar's dictation. So then... Okay, it's interesting that Vivec makes you swear and then say, yeah, you can break it, whatever, but it's important that you swore. I mean, he called it foolish. Yeah, this is... It makes sense that this is reference to this oath here. So then we went with Nerevar back into Red Mountain and met with Dagofur. Dagofur refused to deliver the tools to us, saying they were dangerous and we could not touch them. Dagofur seemed to be irrational, insisting that only he could be trusted with the tools. And then we guessed that he had somehow been affected by his handling of the tools. But now I feel sure that he had previously learned the powers of the tools, and had in some confused way decided he must have them for himself. Then Nerevar and our guard resorted to force to secure the tools. Somehow Dagofur and his retainers escaped, but we gained the tools and delivered them to Sotasil for study and safekeeping. For some years we kept the oaths we swore to Azura with Nerevar, but during that time, in secret, Sotasil must have studied the tools and divined their mysteries. And at last he came to us with a vision of a new world of peace, with justice and honor for nobles, and health and prosperity for the commoners, the tribunal as immortal patrons and guides, and dedicating ourselves to this vision of a better world, we made a pilgrimage to Red Mountain and transformed ourselves with the power of Kagranak's tools. Does it make any sense that there was a gap of a few years before Battle of Red Mountain? Like, I think it's very heavily implied that the turning of Chimera to Dunmer happened during the Battle of Red Mountain, or as an aftermath of Battle of Red Mountain, not that years have passed and Sodasil was researching the tools. You're lying, Vivec, you are lying. Not that I'm surprised, but... And no sooner than we had completed our rituals and began to discover our newfound powers, the Daedra Lord Azura appeared and cursed us for our forsworn oaths. By her powers of prophecy, she assured us that her champion, Nerevar, true to his oath, would return to punish us for our perfidy. Okay? And to make sure such profane knowledge might never again be used to mock and defy the will of the gods. But Sodasil said to her, "The old gods are cruel and arbitrary, distant from the hopes and fears of men. Your age is past. We are the new gods, born of the flesh and wise and caring of the needs of our people. Spare us your threats and chiding in constant spirit. We are bold and fresh and will not fear you." Kind of based, not gonna lie. And then, in that moment, all Chimera were changed into Dunmer, and our skins turned ashen and our eyes into fire. Of course, we only knew at that time that this had happened to us, but Azura said, "This is not my act, but your act. You have chosen your fate and the fate of your people, and all the Dunmer shall share your fate. From now to the end of time, you think yourselves gods, but you are blind, and all is darkness." And Azura left. Azura left us alone, in darkness, and we were all afraid. But we put on brave faces and went forth from Red Mountain to build the new world of our dreams. And the new world we shaped was glorious and generous. The worship of the Dunmer fervent and grateful. The Dunmer were at first afraid of their new faces, but Sodasil spoke to them, saying that it was not a curse, but a blessing, a sign of their changed natures, and a sign of their special favor they might enjoy as new mer, no longer barbarians trembling before ghosts and spirits, but civilized mer, speaking directly to their immortal friends and patrons, the three faces of the tribunal. And we were all inspired by Sodasil's speech and vision, and took heart. And over time we crafted the customs and institutions of a just and honorable society, and the land of Risdane knew millennia of peace, equality and prosperity unknown to other savage races. But beneath Red Mountain, Dag of Ur had survived. And even as the light of our bold new world shined ever more brightly beneath Red Mountain, the darkness gathered, a darkness that was close kin to the bright light that Sodasil coaxed from the heart of Lorkhan with the tools of Kagranak. As the darkness grew, we fought it and crafted walls to confine it, but we never could destroy it, for the source of the darkness was the same source as the source of our own divine inspiration. And in these latter days of Morrowind, reduced to a subjugated province of the Western Empire, as the glory of the temple fades and the dark tide rises from Red Mountain, we are reminded of Azura and her promised champion's return. We've waited, blind and in darkness, mere shadows, drained of our ardent vision, in shame of our folly, in fear of our judgment, in hope for our deliverance. We do not know if the outlander claiming to fulfill the prophecies of Nerevarine is our old companion Nereva reborn, or a pawn of the Emperor, or a catspaw of Azura, or some simple twist of fate. But we insist you adhere to temple doctrine and conform to the scriptures, dividing the hieroglypha from the apocrypha, that you not speak that which must not be spoken openly. Act as dutiful priests should, in accordance with your vows of obedience to the canons and archcanons, and all will be forgotten. Defy me, and you will know what it is to stand against a god. Okay. God damn it, 2 hours. I was doing some item management for some time, but that was at most 20 minutes. I was reading for 2 hours about goddamn Vivec. And I'll be honest, my throat is feeling it. Okay, I'll be finishing for today. Back to home. I will try to spawn an event. I hope this will work. For some reason it doesn't work.
Walk with virtue, Outlander.
It doesn't want to work. Oh, finally.
Please join me.
Paste. I wonder how it spawns.
What can I do for you?
I could use some short blade training. That's for sure. With skinning.
This is an honor. Toi, voici.
10 hours.
This is an honor.
Okay, so if I sleep now, will I trigger the Blight Storm? I can't seem to be able to trigger the Blight Storm. Triggered it once. Okay. Like, so the next thing to do is to go here, as well as here and here. Get the artifacts, get the... Where's my strength hurting? Yeah. So get the artifacts, get Sander, get Kinning, defeat Daggerfall. Simple enough. Not sure how simple exactly, because all the dungeons are modded and I've never played them. I think I've played this one and this one using other modlist, but these three are completely unknown to me. Fight with Daggerfall will be difficult, but with gear such as mine, it should be doable. But I'll keep it for the next time. I will probably have to do some more item management, because I still have a lot of crap that I don't want or need. Other than that, yeah. So I'll save the game and finishing for today. Thanks everyone for watching and see you next time.